Are you DTF?
Well, are you?
Welcome to the DTF podcast.
Where fitness meets the brutal truth.
I'm your host, Stephen Fiora. I'm here with my redneck brethren, Tony Davis.
Davis to Fiora. DTF, you heard?
All right, today we're going to be discussing motivation versus discipline. And this is a big topic. Can't have one other without the other.
Yeah, motivation versus discipline. Motivation can be a week long, it can be a day long, hell, it can even be a month long, but eventually the shit's going to run out. So that's where discipline's going to have to kick in. Motivation comes in many forms. It could come in the form of seeing your kids do something amazing. You're motivated, you're inspired by them, or being on YouTube and watching a workout video and you get motivated because of what's going on or the changes that people are making. But discipline is the factor after you're motivated. So you get motivated, you start your journey. So that motivation runs wild. You start buying new things, you buy your shoes, you buy your workout accessories, you're motivated, you're inspired, you're ready to go. A week or two into that, life hits, you start to lose the motivation, you start to get tired, you get worn out, you might be getting sore. That's when fucking discipline's got to kick in. That's when the days that you don't want to do something, the days that you're tired, the days that, had a long day, ain't gonna make it to the gym today, that's when your discipline kicks in. Get your ass together, get your shit together. Go in there, don't go in there balls to the wall. Maybe it ain't gonna be one of them days, but go in there, hit the movements, and I guarantee you 9 times out of fucking 10, being disciplined and going in that day, you're gonna feel like $1,000,000 afterwards. You're gonna feel accomplished because you didn't let shit get to you. You stayed disciplined and you got to the point where you needed to get to.
Yeah, so you got to ask yourself, when are you going to be disciplined? It's not something easy. It's not going to be something that you learn easily. But so say you're sitting on the couch and you're feeling tired, like he said, sore, whatever. Discipline is the driver of daily activities, of daily execution of whatever you're doing. It drives you to that. Okay. It's a principle that overcomes laziness and excuses. All right. So that being said, okay, without discipline, actually, a matter of fact, with discipline, in order to get discipline comes from within. And discipline actually comes from a choice. Okay. You can have self-discipline or you can have outside discipline, like a drill instructor or a boss or a job that's writing you up when you do something and when you fuck up in something. Okay. But that discipline doesn't last. What does last is self-discipline. Okay. But guess where self-discipline comes from? It's in the fucking term self. It comes from you. It comes from a choice that you make. And without that choice of, hey, I'm going to be disciplined, then guess what? Your fucking discipline's not going to last.
Yeah, and you made a good point. Discipline can come from an outside source, but that outside source to me isn't a lifelong lasting effort. The outside source may be a fitness trainer at the gym that you want to sign up for him to be your fitness coach for 6 months on a budget, right? Well, eventually, if you don't have the budget to maintain that guy at all times, within that 6 months is when you need to learn the discipline in order to maintain the efforts that you want to keep going with. Um, and discipline, here we go again. Discipline can be in all aspects of life. I discipline myself to get up at 5:30 every day and to be to work 30 minutes early every day. Is it a have to by my job? No, it's a discipline factor that if I'm there 30 minutes early, I get to have my coffee. I get to get my mind right for the rest of the day. That disciplined effort sets me up for success for that day. Is it always wonderful? No, I'm an asshole in the morning. If I don't have my coffee, you pretty much don't want to fucking be around me. But once I get to that point of my coffee's been drank, my computer's on, I'm ready, locked in for the day, I'm done. Just like prepping my shakes. That's the discipline part of me. That's why I prep my shakes and my vitamins and my meals. That's discipline. That's discipline in myself to know that my shit's set up. I have no fucking excuse not to do something the following day as far as my fitness life goes. I'm prepped, I'm ready. My lazy ass just has to grab my shit out of the fridge in the morning, put it in my bag, and head off to work. So I'm prepped and ready to go every day. That's little things that I attribute to my everyday life in order to help me stay disciplined, even on the worst fucking days. Another day, today, it was fucking pouring down raining in Philadelphia. Got off work a little bit early, actually. When it rains, I don't know if it's the fat redneck in me or whatever, but I don't feel like doing a fucking thing. So when it was pouring down rain when I got out of work, I could have easily just back to the camper, fuck, going to work out. But I went to the gym. I took my pre-workout on the way there. I sat in the truck a little bit to hopefully that the rain would let up. It didn't. So I just had to say, fuck it. I got out, got soaking ass wet, headed to the gym on a day that I didn't want to go. But my discipline kept me fucking there. I wasn't motivated. I wasn't excited for it. But discipline got me there. And once I walked through them doors, it was a different, it was a different, it, my day changed is where I'm getting at. So.
Yeah, ask yourself, or I'm sure you asked yourself before. I know I asked myself before. I'm actually on a program to correct my discipline or to assist me in it. But guess what? It's my ultimate decision to make to be disciplined. Okay, so if you're asking yourself right now, am I disciplined or why am I not disciplined? Okay, just remember that it's because you haven't made that fucking choice yet. You haven't made that ultimate decision to better yourself in every aspect of life. And in order to be successful, you're going to need discipline. Okay, you're going to need to discipline yourself, find that discipline to push through every day because guess what? Discipline is not there's no shortcuts to it. There's no shortcuts, there's no easy route, there's no easy way at all. Okay, it's brutal, it's fucking honest. All right, you're going to sweat. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be even fucking harder times. And guess what? Discipline, if you make that decision to be disciplined, that's when it's going to all mold together. And you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to say, okay, you know what? I know I feel like shit today, or I know I'm sore, or I know I got written up yesterday and I don't want to go to fucking work. You're going to get up. Okay. The 4 a.m. to work out, or get there 30 minutes early for work, like Tony. Okay. Or after work, you go straight to the gym, or right after that, or if you wait until the family goes to sleep to go to the gym, or if you're trying to start a business. All right. If you're trying to do anything in fucking life, if you have to go fucking, it's just could be if you're going to make your fucking bed in the morning. All right.
Now, don't get me wrong, motivation is a good thing, and so is inspiration from others. Because some of my best workouts haven't been just because I've been disciplined and went in. It's been the fact that I've had the discipline. I know I'm going to work out that day, but throughout the day, I see something that fucking inspires me and motivates me to where that day shit just gets escalated that much more. I'm already disciplined. I'm going to go to the gym regardless. But that day, I see a buddy fucking deadlift their PR, or I see a guy that's been going through fucking hell, but he's just got a new job, or he just bought a new truck, that everything that he's been working for is finally fucking paid off for him. Or I see a person's family just get stronger and come together, or they're doing things with their kids. It, that motivation can come through different fucking things, and it's a good thing, and it can help you along the way, but you cannot depend solely on motivation in order to get you where you need to go in life. You have to be disciplined in every aspect of what you're doing.
Yeah. And that being said, so what I tell when people ask me, and I get this question quite a bit, is how do you get started? We already had a podcast on that, but how do you get started? What do you do first? Okay. What I did first might not work for you, but it might. What I did first was I picked somebody like an idol. It might sound fucking weird, but I picked an idol, someone that I look up to. And I said, you know what? I want to fucking be like him. And mine was Dwayne Johnson. Okay. Fucking humble in everything he does. Funny motherfucker. Very successful. And he's fucking huge. Okay. So
And a
what I did,
Democrat.
yep. What I did was I chose him. So I looked up his workouts. I started doing his workout. So I looked up his diet, which is fucking ridiculous. And I started easing my way to his diet. Okay. But guess what? Then I found out he wakes up at 3 in the morning every day to go for a run. Okay. Then I found out that he goes to the gym in the morning before work to get his mind right. Okay. Then I find out that he works fucking 14 to 15 to 16 hours a day just to do it all over again when he comes home and be humble with his family. All right. And he said, and the one thing that he does is he gets up before the street lights. All right. He gets up before the sun does. Okay. Because, and that's what makes him successful. But guess what? That's what I did to get started. That's like a guide. But without, yeah, that's motivation that I got from him. That's inspiration, like Tony was saying. Okay. But guess what drove me to become somewhat successful in that? Discipline. Okay. Finding an idol or listening to somebody's advice or anything like that. That's a decent starting point, but you won't be able to have a long-term success rate with it if you don't discipline yourself in that. Someone can tell you to go on a diet and you need to be strict on your diet for 3 months in order to see a change. Okay. Or, hey, you need to be on a chicken and rice diet, but guess what? It gets fucking old to you. Okay. They can teach you the route. They can point you in the direction, but the only way you're going to make it successful and go in that certain route is with discipline and disciplining yourself. And again, that makes a choice. That's you making a choice to be disciplined and continue that route after it gets difficult. Because guess what? We say it all the fucking time. When you change a habit, regardless if it's good habit or bad habit, it's fucking hard. A diet is changing a habit. Okay. For the better or worse.
Diet
Right.
is a good example too of discipline because a diet, you can be motivated to lose weight, but a diet is nothing but fucking discipline. Because once you start on a diet, you ain't gonna be motivated to eat the same lean food and shit all the time. Chicken and rice gets old. Vegetables get fucking old. You can't have a fucking Krispy Kreme donut. They bring them to work all the fucking time, especially where I work. There's always donuts, kolaches, some shit sitting on the fucking table in the mornings every time we go in. Me walking past them motherfuckers and going to my office, that's discipline. That's me saying, oh, it's there. I want it. I'm actually motivated to eat that son of a bitch because I know it tastes fucking good. A lot better than the shit that I probably got packed in my fucking lunch. But I'm going to stay disciplined. I'm going to walk by it and I'm going to leave it alone. That's discipline. Discipline is what's going to get you to where you need to go. Motivation will amplify things at certain times and it'll help maybe readjust you, get you reassessed on something that maybe you're fucking up with. But discipline is the ultimate key to succeeding in everything that we do, no matter what it is. Being disciplined at your goals, staying disciplined and staying true to your goals or true to yourself, like we mentioned in the podcast before, is what's going to get you to success.
And going back with motivation, motivation discipline can be the drive to push you through any hardship that you're going through or any laziness or procrastination. Okay. That can drive you to succeed in those aspects. But motivation can help change your goals a little bit, adjust it to the better you. Like he was saying with so your buddy finding a new PR. He posted on social media and you're like, you know what? I need to know my PR. And then you find out that, hey, you know what? It's pretty up there. Okay. And then you find out that it becomes a competition. Now you have a friendly competition with your buddy, like Tony and Dante. Okay. Got a friendly competition. And now he's driving you to be successful in strength. And that's what you wanted all along. But now you find out that, hey, you know what? You got to fucking lift big to be big. And it took their motivation of what they were doing and their competition in order for you to change that to better your life. But guess what? It's now you're going to be sore again because you haven't lifted heavy like that. And you're going to fucking be all that stuff that you found out in the beginning when you were fucking sore and tired and you didn't want to get up. Well, that's now coming back. And that's when discipline will help you manage all of that. And you will strive through those goals and strive for success.
That goes hand in hand with family time too, right? So I'm a traveling man, and being motivated to be a better father is something that comes a lot because just from a simple hug from your kids or a good morning, daddy, or I love you, that way that you feel when those things should be a good father at all times. But being a good father, like for me, traveling all over the United States, the late night flights, the late night flies in, getting up early in order to make things happen. That's discipline, but that discipline is my heart telling me, "Hey, motherfucker, you got to be disciplined as a father in order to be a good father." And that little motivation that you get for the 4 days that you're home, that motivation from them children, and that being a good father, that's what I strive for when I get them flights where I'm flying in at fucking midnight, coming back here because I'm savoring every moment I can with the family before I fly back to my job. That's the discipline and the motivation of family life, and that's where my motivation comes from. That's where my light went off when I first started all this, was me wanting to be a better person and father for my kids and not being a fat alcoholic drunk slob. So the motivation ignited and the disciplines kept me at that point, from that point going forward.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, guys, if you're trying to find out how to start becoming disciplined, okay, first thing, you got to make the choice. You have to make the choice in order to better yourself, okay? Because without that choice, you have no self discipline. And it starts with self, starts with you, okay? So that being said, one thing that I used is it's just like the 75 hard thing. I have a checklist of things that I need to complete every day without failure. Okay. Make yourself a checklist. Doesn't have to be 75 hard, but whatever you are trying to become disciplined on, whether it's diet, perfect example, starting a business, okay, make yourself a checklist. I'm going to do these things without fail every day. And it doesn't matter before you go to bed, you're going to fucking complete one of those. You're going to complete all those tasks because your day ain't over until you complete all those tasks. Just like the first episode of the podcast we discussed. Okay. Perfect example to help you become disciplined. Utilize it as a tool. All these things that we're talking about, it's fucking tools. It's tools to make you better and successful.
Well, just look how everything's lined up from the first podcast to starting your journey. Truthfully, your journey starts not because of discipline. Your journey starts because you got motivated, you got inspired to change your fucking self and be something different than what you're wanting to be. But then you get into being true to yourself. Well, being true to yourself also entails being disciplined. Because if you're being true to yourself and you're hitting your goals and you're staying honest with yourself in every aspect, that means you're disciplined in order to stay on track in order to hit your journey. So all these podcasts, if y'all aren't catching the drift and the savvy of what's going on here, are fucking lining up for a plan of success for you to stay fucking not motivated, but to stay on track and stay disciplined throughout the entirety of your goal set of what you started for. And motivation will come back and slap you in the face as you're staying disciplined, and then you see somebody that could have been where you started. You're 6 months, 8 months down the road. You look back, and this guy's just getting started. Well, hey, you stayed disciplined, you stayed on track. Well, now you can fall back and help this guy out. That should be another motivation factor for you. I've done it. Now it's time for me to spread the word and help somebody else along in their journey, right? So you motivation is going to come at different times in your journey, but discipline needs to be there throughout the entirety.
Speaking of motivation, okay, you could have people like, for example, me. I have everybody starts somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere, and then once people start seeing your change and like Transformation Tuesday, you start posting those transformation photos. That's when you get the messages saying, "Hey, I am where you used to be. Can you help me?" Okay. You know what? Regardless if I could help them or not with some advice or whatever. Okay. Whatever, whether it's going to work with them or not. Guess what? They just motivated me to push myself harder because they noticed it in me and they don't even know me. Right. They, and just like the podcast, if someone messages me and says, "Hey, I love your podcast. It really inspired me." It's like, you know what? That motivates me to continue on the podcast. Okay. But it can come in any aspects of life, any aspects. That's where motivation comes in, get you started. If you're starting to dwindle down and start losing discipline or whatever the fuck, then Motivation, something can motivate you. You can sit there and ask yourself, hey, what motivates me? Is it your family? Is it your job? Is it a goal? Is say you want that promotion? Okay, when you go to work, are you working your ass off and then something happens and you start slacking off a little bit or starting to become a little complacent? Okay, because you don't have that fucking discipline that you need. Because you didn't make that choice you made a while ago to be disciplined is starting to lack a little bit. Well, what motivates you to be successful? Is that promotion? Okay, that fucking paycheck when you get promoted. All right. Or is it your family at home? Okay. Can you look at your kids and say, hey, you know what? I want to be their hero. Okay. I want to be their hero. And that's going to push me to discipline myself and make sure I'm fucking disciplined and make sure I go do this. And when I'm there, because I was disciplined to fucking get up and go to the gym. But now, since I'm there, I'm going to utilize my kids to motivate me to bust my ass and push myself beyond my limits.
And surround yourself with somebody that's going to help hold you accountable. If you're having trouble staying disciplined on your own, set yourself up with the right people. Don't put people around you that are going to want to get you off track of what you're doing. Staying disciplined is a lot easier when you've got the right people backing you and that you're surrounded by. It's a lot easier to pass up a one time drink out with the guys than it is to have yourself surrounded with a bunch of people that just want to drink all day every day. If that's the change that you want to make in your life, you have to find out what it's going to take in order for you to stay disciplined. And if you need to put some people in your corner in order to help hold you accountable until you can have the full true out discipline that you need for yourself, then do that. Set yourself up for success, no matter what it takes. Little things, big things, ranking checklists, like Steve said, whatever it takes. Put those plans and those things into place to where it helps aid you along the way. It's not going to be fucking easy. Nothing great is ever fucking easy. And that's the truth. If anything great was fucking easy, everybody'd be doing it, but they're not. So,
All right, guys. So look, we've talked about getting started. We've talked about our last podcast was about being true to yourself, and now this one's about discipline. This is all we're trying to guide you for success in all aspects of life. Okay. If you have any questions, go ahead and hit us up. If you have any comments, put them in the comments. But one thing that we are doing, we're not going to put ads in this podcast. We're not going to fill it with ads where you have to watch 10 minutes of bullshit at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. We're not going to ask for any money. But what we are going to ask for is help us get this podcast to grow and then help us get it to the right person. That's subscribe to the YouTube channel, like it, give us comments, give us some inspiration. When you guys watch this podcast, you have any ideas, put it in the comments. Okay. And we could use it, and we could use it just as a tool, like what we're giving you guys. All right. So like it, subscribe. If you know somebody that needs to get some discipline or find out how to get started on discipline, share this podcast with them. If you're in a conversation with your buddy and he starts in discipline starts popping up and you got something from this podcast, something positive, say, hey, you know what? Why don't you listen to this podcast? It might help you. Okay. That's all we're asking. We're not we're not going to ask for money. We're not going to ask for, we're not going to put ads on here. And this is all for you guys.
so comment below. Discipline's the marathon. Motivation's the sprint. Discipline's in it for the long haul. You heard?